In this video we will be talking about the configuration of NAT in Sangfor and GAF. Network Address Translation, NAT, is a service that modifies address, port or both types of information within network packets as they pass through a computer or network device. Depends on different scenarios. NAT can be divided as 4 types. Source Network Address Translation, translate internal IP to public to allow internal user access to the Internet. Destination Network Address Translation, used to allow external user to access internal server. Bi-directional Network Address Translation, allow internal user to use public IP or domain name to access internal server. NAT64 or NAT46, internal IPv4 server now needs to be released to IPv6 addresses for access. In this video, we will demonstrate on the case study to show how to configure SNAT, DNAT and BNAT. SNAT case study. First, the NGAF deploys Internet Gateway and Connector Layer 3 switch. Internal network has PC and server. Customer requirement is internal PC and server need access Internet by NGAF. The solution to achieve this requirement is to configure SNAT on NGAF. First, go to Network Interfaces. Select one interface. Make sure one attribute is checked for one interface. Next, go to Policies Application Control. Make sure you have configured to allow policy for the Internet access. By default, NGAF will deny all the outgoing access. Go to Policies NAT to configure NAT policy. Click on Add, select Source NAT. Enter the policy name. Select the source zone the traffic come from. Select the network object. If your network is simple, you can just choose private network address. Select the destination zone, which is the one interface at. Select the network object, choose all as network object in order to browse to the Internet. Click OK to submit the policy. Next, we will use a LAN PC 172.16.30.5 that located under the NGAF for testing. We can try to ping 8.8.8.8 in command prompt to test the connectivity of the device. The ping is successful. Now back the NGAF. Click on refresh button located at the bottom. We can see the hit count of the policy is increased. DNAT case study. NGAF deploys Internet Gateway and internal have a web server. Customer requirement is to release the web server to Internet and external user can access web server by 2.2.2.2. The solution to achieve this requirement is to configure DNAT on NGAF. Click on Add and select Destination NAT. Enter policy name. Select the source zone that the traffic come from. Enter your NGAF public IP address which usually associated in the one interface. You can select which type of the protocol and what port number that associated in the packets will trigger this policy. For the internal address, you can select to enter a single IP address, IP range, network objects or unchanged. Enter which port number that will translate and associated to the packet after pass through the NGAF. Next, we will try to use remote desktop connection which is using 3389 for connection for the testing. Enter the NGAF public IP 192.168.19.21. As we can see in the command prompt, the remote session is successfully connected to the PC 172.16.30.5. Now we back to NGAF, and click on the refresh button. As we can see the hit count of the DNAT policy is increased. BNAT case study. NGAF deploys Internet Gateway. There is a web server in internal network and customer had applied domain name www.test.com and point to 2.2.2.2. Customer requirement is internal user to access web server via www.test.com. The solution to achieve this requirement is to configure BNAT on NGAF. Next, We will proceed to configure the BNAT. Click on Add and choose Destination NAT. The configuration is same to the DNAT configuration. But in the BNAT policy, we will only choose internal zone as the source zone. After fill the details such as public address, protocols and put in original data packet and translated data packet columns. Click on Advanced in Bi-directional NAT options. Check on the Enable checkbox. Select the zone where the targeted destination IP is located at. Select Egress interface in the Translate Source to column. Click OK to close this pop-up windows. Click OK again to submit this policy. For the testing, we will use another LAN PC 172.16.30.6 to use remote desktop connection to test this BNAT policy. Enter the NGAF public IP 192.168.19.21. As we can see in the command prompt, the remote session is successfully connected to the PC 172.16.30.5. Now we back to NGAF and click on the refresh button. As we can see, the hit count of the BNAT policy is increased. There is some precaution in configuring NAT in NGAF. Ensure that NGAF device can access internet and access policy must allow. Bidirectional NAT will translate both source and destination IP.